Okay, we are live. So the guest today we have here is one of my favorite all-time social media shows. To me, they basically have brought back Italian food back into my life, considering I've been married to a German who's always eaten meat and potatoes. But one day I turned on YouTube and there they are talking about Italian food. And it just made me, like sit up straight and listen to both of them. We have Harper, and then we have, I think it's Eva or Ava.
Eva.
And I want to tell you guys a little bit about it before we get into everything here. So let me just put my glasses on here. So they are both the author of this particular book here. We're going to talk a little bit about this. This is their the authentic recipes, and they celebrate Italian home style cooking. And let me just talk a little bit about Ava. She's excuse my English because I know that you were a teacher, Ava. So correct me if you can. So she left her home in Calabria, Italy, at a young age to pursue a career in Italian language teacher. Her education and her work took her to various parts of Italy, where she immersed herself in studying the diverse regional cuisines. After relocating to the United States with her American husband, Harper Alexander, Ava was surprised to find that the American interpretation of Italian food scarcely resembled the dishes she knew from home. And that's why I love the show so much. So they actually started their own YouTube channel. You guys get out there and turn it on. It's called Pasta Grammar, Grammar. And then Harper, how do you say this?
Cinematographer.
Cinematographer, okay, in Los Angeles. You'll tell us what that is. Before meeting his future wife, Eva. So they basically took. Eva is a talented cook and introduced Harper to the rich in Italian cuisines. I love it when she says, "Oh, Harper." It's so funny because he'll say something that is just so American, and she'll say, No, Harper." And anyways, they inspired by the culinary journey. Harper decided to blend his filmmaking expertise, which is excellent, with his passion for Italian food. I got to tell you guys, every time I watch one of your shows, I am so hungry. I jump up and I go to my kitchen and I see broccoli in my kitchen. And then I'll say to my husband, I'm going to make spaghetti and meatballs or something like that. And I'll go and I'll look. But we're going to get back to this in a little bit. So here is their cookbook. I did get it. Maybe one day I'll meet both of these beautiful souls. Oh, that's just zooming right in, isn't it? And they could sign it for me in the near future. I've got a new camera, and it does whatever it wants to do. So, so welcome both of you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So we've got a lot of people out here that are joining. Some are from Spain, I think Australia. They're from, I used to have a great big channel on YouTube, and they apparently didn't like my geopolitical ideas. And so I still have a few of them that are with me. So we're mostly in the baby boomer arena. And what I was saying to you guys before we came on is that you are making us aware of the lost art of Italian cooking. And that's what I love about your show. And it's so funny because Harper, you really took to Italian food right away. And yes. I want to ask you a little bit about that. So I saw one of the videos that how you guys met, and I thought it was so adorable. The chemistry between you two on your channel is it's just fantastic. And it's you guys kind of play off of each other a little bit, and you're very creative in the cooking. And what's one way to a man's stomach is through love is to his stomach, right? Yeah. So I bet you fell in love with her right away, right?
Well, the ironic thing and the truth is that when we first met, I wouldn't even eat her cooking. That's how dumb I was. So and really the channel is almost like a documentation, if you watch from the beginning till now, of me learning how stupid I was. because when we first met, I was very like fitness obsessed, and I had my like really strict diet where I would just eat like chicken, broccoli, and rice and protein shakes and stuff like that. And so when I met this gorgeous Italian woman, I liked her quite a bit, but her cooking was not really part of the picture. And I would eat my own thing and leave her to eat her food. And when we started making our videos, in a way, it was sort of, it was almost like couples therapy for us. It was like us working out our differences about food, but in public for people to watch. And it didn't take long once I started eating her food to realize that not only was it amazing, it changed my life, it brought flavor to my life, literally, but I also got into much better shape and much more fit than I was when I was eating my silly diet food. So, so really, I have evolved quite a bit here.
Because it was all natural products. That's what I love about it. You know, you want something, you go out. That's the way it should be. And I think we're going to get back to it. You know, without getting into anything, you know, we're looking at making America healthy again. And yeah, I think Eva needs to be on that committee there. But we are all learning. So, I mean, I think it's back in the 70s, 1970s, way before you guys were born, we were all thin and fit. And then when processed food came into play, and I know that you talk a lot about that, Harper, about processed foods. And one thing I did find out that I think you were trying to make your sourdough bread and you didn't realize about salted butter versus non-salted.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that was the bread and it wouldn't work for you. And I was like, wow, she's going to keep trying to make this until she mentioned it. And you happen to look down and see the box or something like that and say, do you put salt in your butter? And she says, what is salt and butter? I cracked up.
Yeah.
Yes, because for example, in Italy, that is one of the products that we don't have. So for me, when I went to the store, I bought this butter that for me was normal unsalted butter, and then he made me discover that no, maybe Eva is better if you read all the, how do you say, the label to understand if this will work or not. So it was also a process, a learning process also for me.
One other thing I do want to also say is congratulations to you having dual citizenship with Italy and also now America.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And you know what? You did it the right way. You didn't come in the back door through the border.
No. Also because from Italy it was a little bit too difficult, maybe.
No, it took a long time and it was a lot of work, but it was worth it. We're glad.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know it is good. Keep doing what you guys are doing. And I do want to let everyone know again, it's Pasta Grammar. If you go out to YouTube, take a look at it. You've got to do more with both. I saw your father was in it, Harper, and her parents are in it. And I saw one with your mother. I haven't gotten all of them because you've been doing this for what, 5 years?
2021, no, 2020. So it's almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a long time. And so like I said, I love I could tell you all day long about your videos that you made. I'm sure you don't want to hear it, but when your father was tasting American cookies, oh my God, he ended up liking the Oreos out of all of them. I'm like, no.
That was a surprise, actually, also for me, because I was expecting that he liked most one simpler cookie, but no, he chose Oreo. So I said, okay, if you like.
To be fair, compared to everything else we gave him,
maybe
wasn't
was
saying
best.
very
Maybe
much, but
yeah.
Yeah, so Fran was, and I've got Fran muted right now, but I'll unmute her. But she was actually, this is their YouTube channel, you guys, and go out there and take a look. I love the idea of the pizza that you make because it's simple. The simpler the food, the simpler the ingredients, the better it tastes. When you explain about garlic, maybe you could go into explain that a little bit. And these are all of their videos, you guys. They are so funny. But here everybody, if you're going to watch one of them, watch the Italian shop at Costco for the very first time. This one is there's her mother. Unbelievable. Let me just open this up here, and I can't have the sound on because of the I don't want to get hit with the let me skip
well, we
this.
won't copyright strike you. Don't worry. We can YouTube tonight.
Okay. So this is your mother here. She's looking at everything and she's freezing her butt off because it is super cold in there. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, we that was my doing. Southern Europeans in general are they really don't like air conditioning. They think it makes you sick, which I don't know, maybe it does. I have no idea, but they're really convinced of it at any rate. And so, you know, every time we go to Costco, you go into that, it's cold in general in there. It's freezing in there in general. But then when you go into the big, like sort of walk-in fridge where they have all the fresh produce, Ava hates it every time. She like won't even go in there. I usually have to go in there. So that was me planning a little bit and knowing that they were going to have some kind of reaction. I didn't expect them to literally start cursing in front of everyone in Costco, but they did.
Yes, but because they are real people, so they are not used to a camera. So their reaction was completely real, completely natural. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, for that video, we kind of mic'd them up with little mics that I knew that they would forget about because they're just really discreet. And I just had the tiniest little camera with me. So like they didn't even really realize that the camera was there or think that they were being filmed in most of the cases so that they could just, you know, kind of go do their thing.
Yeah, this was really good. They were freezing and they found some really warm clothes, but that's just one of them. If anybody wants to start out, that's the first one. I think this was the first one I watched. I think it was also for Fran too. Let me ask Fran. Fran, was this your first one also?
Yes, it was. And I was hysterical because they're just like my parents. My parents would have done the same thing. It was great, really. It was such a good episode.
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Your father was just a classic. You know, everything you watch them and they really are wise and they're very basic. You see what they bought? Nothing packaged, everything back to basics. And that's how my family raised me. And I'll tell you, that's when I was the healthiest, when my mom cooked, because we had a garden and everything was natural. Nothing was packaged. And we always had our gardens. Not a big garden, but we always had our own gardens. And we just ate clean.
It makes a big
delicious food. And I miss it. I see my daughter. It's 3 children. It's hard. How do you cook, you know, a full meal? It's crazy. With 3 kids, you're lucky you eat. It's just nuts. But
and Eva will tell you, you don't waste anything. And that when she is talking, mothers and daughters sometimes will kind of butt heads at one point in their life. And what she is saying is everything my mother used to say. You don't waste anything. You eat everything on your plate, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, and I miss my mother. She's no longer with me. But I was like, okay, I could see my mother spoke 2 different dialects. So I think I'm the 3rd generation here. So I feel like I'm totally removed from even being Italian. I am so American. It's not even funny. But my mother was not. My grandfather, Sassoon, if I'm saying that right, we did. We've traced our family back to the 1600s there, and then my grandmother was Sicily. Grandma from Sicily was stern as could be, and you talk about getting hit with wooden spoons.
Absolutely, I know what you're talking about.
Me too.
So do I.
So, now
it's a staple.
So
I use
one
the
of the
rolling
things
pin.
that you guys did a trip to Vegas with the parents. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God, was that funny?
yeah.
You
We took
guys
them
got
on
to
there.
see that one. So your mom, Ava, went out at night, and you could see her not wanting to look because she sees what's ahead of her.
Oh
I
my
know,
God.
Yeah.
the funny thing was that she decided to go to Vegas.
Yeah, she was the
asked.
one who really wanted to go. I don't
She-
think she knew exactly what it really was when
So-
she wanted to go. But
Then when once she arrived there, she started to understood what it was around her. So she was a little bit not really sure if the choice that she made was the right one or not. But then buying all her, how do you say, magnets,
magnets. Yeah.
she was happy. She was happy, by the way.
Yeah. I can't believe that you still cook the old-fashioned way with the old-fashioned tools. I caught up with I go back to your newer, or old, I should say older videos where you were making, I'll call it a croissant. And you guys won't call, we call it a croissant, I guess, in America, but you took 2 or 3 days to make this, rolling the dough, folding the
A
dough.
couple of days,
Yeah, a couple
sì,
days,
a
yeah.
couple of days to make the cornetto. We call in Italian we call it cornetto. So you need to start today in advance to cook it, so you can have a breakfast the third day. Yes, you need to plan a little bit in advance when you want to eat.
Yeah. And then you also did a trip to the what was it, Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I enjoy that when you get out with them. I can see your creativity, Harper. It's like you've got an eye, definitely had an eye for film. So don't give up on that, whatever it is that you are doing, because we could see your creativity and everything that you're doing. I bet you do a lot of editing, don't you?
Yes, yeah, that's probably most of my job is editing our videos. Yeah, because the shooting usually, unless we're making like Cornetti and it's, or a road trip and it takes a few days to shoot. Usually our videos we shoot in a day, but then it's kind of a week of editing. So, yeah.
So what is your favorite dish, both of you guys?
Ooh, we're both team pizza. If we were stuck on a desert island, pizza all the way. Yeah. Yeah.
And that is the simple pizza?
For
me, pizza margharita. Yeah. Yep.
Yes,
there we go.
The basic Napolitan pizza with a little bit of tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, olive oil, basil.
Yeah. Every time we go to a pizzeria, I'll often like try to mix things up, and I'll order a different pizza. And there's, without exception, every time I'm always left going, well, that was good, but it actually would have been better if I'd just gone with a margarita.
Yeah, definitely margarita. What do you guys have any plans coming up for the near future to like change things up, or you're just going to be going with the same method that you're doing? That's the kitchen that you cook in here. Then you have the kitchen. You want to talk about Italy? Talk about the tours? Because you do travel back and forth, both of you. Do you have a dual citizenship also, Harper?
No, I don't, because we don't live in Italy. So it's pretty easy for, I can just go there being married to Ava, so it's not really a problem or anything. Maybe someday, we'll see. But yeah, we're actually heading to Italy soon this spring for another round of tours. We do a bunch of food tours every year. One in particular that we're really kind of building and growing is a whole week spent in Ava's hometown in Dessa in Calabria. So it's this little village where there are no other tourists, never have been, probably never will be. And people come and just spend a whole week with us and the locals, living, dancing, cooking, eating, drinking. It's super fun. It's a really fun time. So we're going back there for that soon. So we're looking forward to that.
And this is it, right?
That's it. Yeah.
This is the sound. Yes.
You getting homesick, Eva?
A little bit. Now that I'm looking at it, yes, a little bit. But soon I will be there.
I get homesick for it, and I'm not even from there.
Maybe you more than me.
Yeah. Let me come back to you guys here and just see if Fran has any questions. She's new to your channel also. Hi, Fran.
Hi. So do you do all types of meat, or are you just vegan? Like, what do you usually follow? Everything?
Everything.
We cook everything.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't think there's anything we don't eat.
No,
Except for Domino's.
Yes, except I was saying, except for processed food with everything. And actually, sometimes, okay, in Italy, we use a bigger variety also of meat. Sometimes it's very hard for me to find here in US. So when I cook here meat, I need to stick to pork, beef, chicken. But back in Italy, we have lamb, goat, I don't know, rabbit, wild bird. So we cook all variety of meat that you can imagine. And also all the part of the animals, because we stick to the idea that once you kill an animal, you need to eat all the animal. You don't waste.
Yeah, no waste. And I've seen there, you do have a video out there. It's so funny because Harper starts out where you're a runner and you like to run and you think you're going to get up and go exercise, and her father's right behind you and they're preparing. I don't know, was it pig fat?
Well, yeah, it's called propuna. It's an amazing tradition. You'll find it all throughout southern Italy under various different names. But basically, you know, when they would slaughter a pig, they didn't waste anything. So once they'd used the kind of more prime cuts of meat and stuff to make their salami and stuff like that, that they would preserve throughout the year, everything that was left, like the skin and the bones that still have some fat on them, everything like that, you put it into just this massive pot and you boil it. And you have this big pork boil with everyone, and then what's left over in that pot is this sort of fat that you skim off, and you kind of use that like a cooking fat, it almost looks like bacon fat, sort of, but with more meat in it, and it's super delicious. You spread that on some hot bread. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Yeah, it sounds really good, and that's what I mean. You're kind of educating us, both of you. I know that by career. Eva is a teacher, but both of you guys are really teaching us, bringing us back to our roots, at least to mine, because I'm Italian. Not everyone that follows me is Italian. But like I said, we have 4 Italians on Saturday Night Live. All, you know, I don't know how far back their generations go. But my mother actually took a trip by herself right before she had passed away, when she was really healthy and stuff, and went back to Italy. I kind of wish I've taken it. I went with her on that, but I hope I'm on your list for your tours. I don't know when it's going to open up, but I hope like maybe 2026. What is that?
Soonish. Yeah, but that's good to know. Yeah, well, we hope to see you there.
Yeah, and you're in the hills of Italy? Is that correct?
Yeah. You know, Calabria is, for those who don't know, it's the toe of Italy. So it's very, very narrow. And so you have in very close proximity the sea and probably one of the most beautiful parts of the coast of Italy, and most beautiful beaches, and then mountains just kind of coming right up out of the sea. So Dessà, her town, is kind of halfway in between. So it's sort of nestled in the mountains, but also very close to like the beach and the ocean and stuff. So.
Wow.
Oh, there's Sheila.
There's Sheila.
Yeah, that's very close.
Oh, so you recognize that right away, huh?
Oh, yeah, we go there all the time. Yeah. Actually, our tour goes basically there.
So it's some very good swordfish.
Yeah, they have amazing swordfish there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I need to get out of this country and go back. That's the only place I want to travel. Any other one, only it. You know, I guess everybody always wants to go back home, right? Now, Harper, may I ask, what nationality are you?
Oh boy, I am a mix of just about everything. But ironically, I am more Italian than anything else. But that's not saying much. I'm only 1/16 Italian. I found this out relatively recently. I had an ancestor who came from Naples, and I actually know quite a bit about him now, which is cool. He was the like concertmaster at the opera house in Naples, which I love, and I've been to see opera there. So I'm more Italian than anything else, but that's not saying much. I'm barely Italian. I'm a mix of Scottish, English, a little bit of Slovak thrown in. Yeah, kind of everything.
Yeah, especially when like my grandfather and his brothers and everybody came here, and they had to learn English and everything else. So, but when I was growing up, it's kind of funny. I grew up with all friends that were in an Italian neighbor outside of Chicago. I wasn't in Chicago itself, but you will have those pockets in every state like that where everybody will. In my family, the Cavalones all basically stayed in Chicago until my mother decided to move, and then aunts and uncles and everybody moved away from Chicago. We have a very thick book on our family and stuff like that. Where some of our relatives look like they were 2 feet tall. They're very short. But yeah, I understand all that. But once you've been in America, and you basically are part of the environment, we've lost our ways. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about you guys bringing this all back to us again. I can't say that enough. Right, Fran?
Yes, I agree. It's been lost, and it's good to have it back.
Yeah. It's it's been quite a discovery for me, because I was just used to the kind of food culture that we're used to here, and it's just been amazing for me to see how people think that like the problem is eating pasta and pizza and stuff, and they think that that's unhealthy. But then it's like, I've gone to Italy and I've been there for months where I'm eating nothing but pasta and pizza and cheese and all this stuff that like everyone thinks is unhealthy, and I'll like lose weight, and it's really often the ingredients and maybe the chemicals that go into them and stuff like that. So
100%, yes.
And this is stuff that for Ava was just normal and common sense, and she didn't even like understand how crazy that is for us to learn, but it is for a lot of us. It was for me.
Yeah, it's so our food pyramid. I think that we were kind of deceived on that. I'll kind of say that out there. I always wear that conspiracy hat, but I think at some point it becomes true. Like if you were eating all that stuff, and I was going to say that to you. I know that you work out. Both of you guys work out and everything, but you're fit. You're not heavy like the rest of the Americans are, and that's because you're eating things that come from natural stuff. You're eating the roots, everything that is really healthy for you. Now, Harper, I'm going to go back to you. And Fran, if you want to ask Ava any questions, you can. But you're a historian, are you not?
Me?
Yeah.
He's obsessed.
I'm not. I kind of wish I was.
Obsessed.
I do really love history. And even before I met Ava, I was always particularly interested in ancient history. And so a lot of ancient Roman and Greek history. So I was traveling to Italy before I even met her, going to Rome and stuff. So I love that stuff. I'm definitely not a historian, but I do love history.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me take there you go, Fran. I had you muted again. Do you have any questions for them?
Ava, what's your favorite dish?
My favorite dish is pizza. Pizza.
What about tomato? Is it tomato also?
I'm sorry, Janina.
Is it also your favorite dish to make? Because when you go to Italy, you are, to me, you remind me of my relatives, where the women are in the kitchen and the men too, and they're cooking for days on days. And you would think that this was for a big feast, and it's just to make a meal. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
So actually, pizza is my favorite food to eat. But if I need to cook, I think that my favorite food is pasta in general, which means from lasagna to the simple aglio olio peperoncino.
Wow.
So all the world of pasta is the thing that I like to cook the most. But to eat, pizza.
Do you still do your own homemade noodles, or do you buy them?
Never. When we want fresh pasta, I always make fresh pasta. Egg fresh pasta or semolina fresh pasta, I always
Oh,
make it. Then it's
oh,
obvious the normal spaghetti we buy because we buy also in Italy.
Yeah, it's
But
important to point that out because a lot of people think that all pasta is better if it's made fresh,
No,
but
no.
that's not really true. Like
No.
you know, spaghetti, rigatoni, the dry pastas, you need very specialized equipment to make that. You can't just make it at home. So those even Italians, even the most
No, we
hardcore
buy.
Italians will buy.
But then when
Yeah.
when we need to cook like tagliatelle or fettuccine or lasagna or manicotti, we do egg fresh pasta and I do all at home. Sì.
I think someone was asking what your favorite wine is.
My favorite wine, that's a very difficult to answer because I like all the wine from Valle d'Aosta until Sicily. So every wine that is good, I like. Maybe my favorite as a white wine, I really like the Falanghina from Campania. Red wine, I really like the Primitivo di Manduria from Puglia. So those are my two favorite wines.
So if anybody is really interested in, and I'm just going to throw out what I've seen on your videos, you know, oils that the different types of oils. You guys went through and tasted like 10 oils.
Mhm.
You were doing like shot glasses. Was it really oil, or you guys have wine in that?
I wish it could be wine.
That's a
but
good
no.
idea. We should have thought of that.
That
No,
was
we were really
oil.
drinking olive
It
oil.
was oil.
And then of course you guys will see that out on they're a large channel. So like you tried Domino's Pizza for the first time, 2.2 million views on that. That was 5 years ago. You have done some videos with Gordon Ramsay. And I just enjoy these. I could sit there and just, I guess I was like being a couch potato watching them for a while. Then I got up and I go and talk to my husband. What are we going to have for dinner? And I have the cookbook now. Let's talk a little bit about the cookbook.
Yeah.
And let everyone know where you can get it and the type of meals that you have in here. Go right ahead.
Yeah. So the cookbook is available on most major booksellers. So you can find it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart, I think. And basically, when we set out to write the cookbook, what we wanted to do was try to put together 100 like must-try, Italian recipes that if you're new to Italian food, to real Italian food, for instance, like what are the like top 100 recipes from all over Italy that sort of provides the building blocks for everything else. And it turned out to be really hard to narrow it down to 100, but we did. Yeah, there we go.
Risotto al salto.
That's a great one.
I love it.
Yeah. So it was really fun to write, particularly for me, because I got to sample a whole lot of amazing food.
100 recipes.
Yeah.
So yes, it's so funny because I read some of the comments that people leave on your videos, and they're saying both of you guys are lucky. For one, you found each other, and Harper, you're lucky because you get to taste all that delicious food.
Yeah.
And so now that I have the cookbook, I just got this last week. The problem where I'm originally from Chicago, but we moved down to the Gulf Shores in Alabama, in the Orange Beach area. So grocery stores, and I know you kind of talk about this throughout your channels and in just about every show, what to buy. You were making something, I think you were talking about a certain butter from Germany that you thought would be the best to use. I'm very limited, and I'm not sure if that's for a lot of the people that are watching this right now, but I'm very limited on grocery stores down here. I love to go back to Chicago. You name this any store. They had stores called international villages where no matter what nationality you want, whether it's Greek, Italian, Polish, whatever, you could find all those foods there. So where I'm at, I'd have to probably get something on Amazon. You guys pointed out a lot of stuff could be on Amazon. And also Whole Foods. I think you guys shop at Whole Foods a lot too, don't you?
Yeah, for some things, there, if shopping for us is kind of an ordeal for exactly that reason. We live in Tucson, Arizona, so we don't live in New York. We don't live in on Arthur Avenue, and so like a lot of people, we struggle to find anything that you wouldn't find in just any grocery store everywhere. So Whole Foods often will have something that maybe we need. But yeah, we have to source a lot of our stuff online, and we try to. Sometimes it's impossible because sometimes a recipe needs something really specific, like that butter you're talking about. But we try really hard to give people recipes and teach them what like the real ingredient would be if you were in Italy, but give them
the option
at least the closest substitution that they can at least find on some common supplier like Amazon or something. And we often joke amongst ourselves, like we have to pretend that none of our viewers live on Arthur Avenue and that everyone lives like us in like the middle of the desert, and what can they get? Because it can be really hard. It can be really hard to find. We've still never found real ricotta anywhere, even on Arthur Avenue, by the way. Never. Not real ricotta anywhere.
And we've been wanting to make a good lasagna at home down here. So southern Alabama, as far south as you can go. We live near the ocean, so it's beautiful here. But the trade-off is we're not going to find really good ricotta or anything like that. So we will have to have that shipped into us. Is there anything else that you wanted to share? I'm going to make a couple of comments on some of your videos out here, and I this one here cracked me up. I think it was New Year's Eve.
Oh, I think I know which video that is.
Yeah, it's the first one right here.
That was Christmas.
Oh,
it has in New Mexico, in Mexico City, Christmas.
Oh, it says it right there. Merry Christmas from you guys were hysterical. You were hysterical, and I just loved it. And of course, rustic Italian. This is Mama Rosa. She's shops for bread in America. These are your shorts out there. I'm not sure what the guitar is.
That's from our weekend de Sa. So that's from Ava's hometown. Some of the festivities there.
I love that. It takes us back. I'm going to come back to us here. It kind of takes us back to. I guess I have to ask this question. It takes us back to our roots, but has it changed, Ava? I mean, are you starting to see it a little bit more? You guys mentioned about a McDonald's. You did that whole video on whether McDonald's in Italy is the same as the McDonald's in with the food menus and stuff like that. But I sure hope they're not franchising it out there. Can you guys give us a little heads up on that?
There is a little bit here. We need to make a little bit of difference between the big city in Italy and the small village.
Yeah.
Because if you go in a big city like Rome, Florence, Venice, you can't really find the real Italian tradition anymore, because there are so full of tourists that for sure they have to manage the situation to please everyone. But once you go far from this big city and you start to go deep into the real Italy, which is these small villages, there the situation is like the same of, 100 years ago. So there are still people in my small village that they never tried an hamburger in their life. They don't know what an hamburger is. And still they live in 2025.
Yeah.
So the tradition is very strong and real in the small villages.
That's why we try to, with our tours, kind of make those parts of Italy accessible to tourists, because in a way that the best places to visit, if you don't just want to be sort of in a Disneyland almost, but it's also very difficult. It's like if you're just by yourself traveling, trying to like go visit some little village or something, you won't find much. So we're trying to sort of make that happen, to be able to bring people to experience life there.
Mm-hmm.
So, Eva, you were in Vegas. Did you win some awards for? Excuse me if It's N-D-U-J-A. How do you pronounce it?
Nduja. No,
It's
we
a
are.
sausage.
Yeah. So this has been quite a cool personal story for us, quite a journey. So when I first started visiting Ava in Calabria, I was quickly introduced to one of the most famous Calabrian products, which is called Nduja. And yeah, it's spelled Nduja, but it's pronounced Nduja. And it's a pork salami, but that doesn't really do it justice. It's spicy and it's very, very soft and spreadable. So it's kind of like if you imagine Nutella, but salami. And it tastes amazing, and you can put it on pizza, you can melt it into pasta sauce, and it quickly became one of my absolute favorite, definitely my favorite overall ingredient of all time. Oh, did we lose the camera?
Oh. Is that on my side or your side?
Maybe it was.
Gosh, I don't know. Let me see if I can.
I don't know what to do.
Oh, hang on. Let me see if I can fix it on my end. Maybe if I change my camera.
Well, the good thing is we can hear you. So
Yeah, well, that's good. I don't know what's going on.
I'm wondering, did you want to go back out and come back in again? It might be my side.
Sure. If I leave studio, is that okay?
Yeah, and then you can just come right back in. We're still hanging here.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if so Fran, what do you think? I mean, I know you just were catching up with them.
They're adorable. I can't wait to watch her cooking. Are the recipes easy?
Some of them are. You know, I don't think any. There are quite a few easy ones that they throw together. I was this close to actually buying something to make my own pasta, and then my husband says, "No more things in the kitchen." And because she showed, there's one video that Eva is actually showing you, how to make take the paste, the pasta, and run it through and to get till it gets thinner and thinner.
Oh, okay.
I love the creativity of that. Just creating something. I don't care about eating it.
Yeah.
Now you're back.
Yes. I don't know why I can't get the other camera to connect, but hopefully this is all good and you can still see us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for coming back here. Yeah, so I don't have any other questions for you. I know, I just totally enjoy your show, and I wanted to share it with everybody. And is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Well, let me finish telling you about Nduja. Only because we're really excited about this. Basically, so there's this ingredient called Nduja. I fell in love with it. But the problem is that the U.S. has a blanket ban on all Italian meat imports, except for a few exceptions, because some of the richer regions in Italy can afford the lobbyists to make exceptions. But in general, all meat is banned in the U.S. that's imported from Italy. So you can't get imported Calabrian Nduja in America. And several companies have tried to make it here, but all of them have been really bad and not have even come close to it. So we were always really sad that this product that is like one of the most important things from her home and that I love so much was not available. But we've been working with a Calabrian team, Calabrian Nduja makers there's one town that Nduja is from, it's called Spilinga. And so this like 4 or 5 generation family of Nduja makers actually came to the US and started making it here, but using their recipe from back home, and it's phenomenal. They're called Nduja USA. And so that's what you were seeing from Vegas. We went to Vegas for the fancy food show to introduce people to Nduja. So that was super fun. We just got to eat Nduja for like 3 days. It was great.
Were a lot of people amazed by it? I mean, they probably didn't know about it, right?
Yeah, because For a lot of people, it's a totally new thing. And sadly, a lot of people were familiar with it because chefs started to become aware of this ingredient and started to use it in their dishes. But unfortunately, they were using just these really, really poor imitations. And so it was cool to actually be able to in person introduce people to real Induja and see the reactions. Yeah. Because it really is something special.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you guys are educating people that Olive Garden is not Italian. I love that video. Well, I think you took her there when she became an American citizen.
Yes, I was waiting for 5 or 6 years for the day she became a U.S. citizen to take her to Olive Garden. She didn't know,
and
but
it's
I
so
was
funny.
waiting.
Isn't that crazy?
She takes the blindfold off. No, Harper, I'm not going in there.
Also because he said to me that day, I take you down out for dinner because it's your gift. Right now you're becoming an American. We need to celebrate. I take you out for dinner. So I was excited. And then he drove me to the Olive Garden, and I said, okay, I'm not going there. I was like, no, forget. This is my celebration. I want real food. But then I had to go.
So this is Buckshot. I think he's from New York. Also, he's Italian. It's one of my co-hosts on Saturday Night Live. He says, "How dare you take her to Olive Garden?
How dare you took me to the Olive Garden?"
Staten Island. Oh, Buck.
So we do this show. We kind of talk about current events and stuff like that. But once we start talking about food, we can't stop. And then you see everyone going, I got to go make something to eat because I'm hungry. And everybody that we go live with says, yeah, I'm hungry too. It's not always about Italian food. And, but I'll tell you what, I think Italian food is probably more, the ingredients that you use. If you use fresh oregano, you use some peppers, anything that you use that's got a root on it, I think is healthy for you. And I agree with you. If you're making your own pasta, Harper, you're not adding all the sugar and preservatives as the stores are. Before we go, I just wanted to ask you something, either one of you. Talk a little bit about the pasta in the stores. Like you brought up something that really it wakes me up every time you educate me on is a different color of pasta. There's I know that you make sometimes you make egg pasta. But the Barilla, I thought that was the best one in the store. If I'm pronouncing
me too. Yeah, it's about one of the worst. Pasta. Forgive me if I explain, but it's just something that I've learned a lot about because I had no idea. Pasta, what you really are looking for when you see pasta that looks really smooth and yellow, that is kind of the good sign that it's not going to be the best pasta. You want to look for pasta that is, it's called like bronze extruded or bronze cut. And that has to do with the machine that they use to do it. And what you really want is actually a more white color because that means that the machine that extruded it gave it a kind of rougher surface, not so smooth. And so sauce sticks to it much better. And also the cook time is another very good clue. The longer the cook time the pasta is, generally the better it is. If you see pasta that's 6 to 8 minutes, that's going to be mush. Yeah, but if you see like 12, 15 minutes, that's really good.
That's good. Any other hints for anybody out there? Now you got a whole video, and and everyone's going to go check it out on flour. I didn't even know what 00 flour was.
Yeah,
I heard of all-purpose flour. We used all that. So now my husband makes his own bread. Since the economy got really bad, we're retired, and we've been cooking on our own. And he uses the all-purpose flour, and I'm like, no, you got to watch the show. There's more to the all-purpose flour. He's like, you watch it and give me the list.
Yeah. When you're making stuff like I think especially with pizza, because pizza is one of the more common things that us Americans, if we're going to try to like tackle some Italian food, would want to make. Everybody likes pizza. You want to make pizza. And more people want to make like that really amazing Neapolitan pizza dough and stuff.
But pizza in general.
Yeah. But any kind of pizza you make, if your flour doesn't have a high enough protein content, it's not going to rise properly. It's going to be very difficult to work with. And so, yeah, that's something
very hard, very tough.
Yeah.
But if you use the right flour, you have the best result of this fluffy crust, delicious, full of flavor. Now I want pizza. It's always like that. I talk about pizza and I want a pizza.
Also too, so Colleen here is a regular with, she's talking about she has a grain mill and grinds her fresh organic wheat berries.
Oh, cool.
And I think on your show back in Italy, and I love this about you, Harper, you're rebuilding the community. Both of you are, not just Harper, but everybody there together. It is a community of people of love, and you guys got to check out their videos when they are there. It just warms my heart to see that people are still like that. Now there is a mill there. Have they continued working on that?
Yeah, so we have a lot going on in the town now, which is really cool because, you know, the sad part of Southern Italy, it's so wonderful, but it's also, there's a sad aspect to it, which is that a lot of these smaller towns are dying, essentially from you know, low population growth, and that's partly because there isn't as much economic opportunity there, so young people have to leave to go find work. And so we're trying to, at least in our small way, turn that around, at least with one town. And so we're doing a lot there to create opportunities, and we're working to restore about 7 or 8 of the historic buildings in the town, including this medieval grain mill that was the town's mill up through the 1980s. Like, that's how recently it was. Nobody knows how old it is. That's how old it is. But that's what, you know, even around, almost to the time that Ava was born, people were using for their flour. And so we're rebuilding that, fixing that, and trying to do kind of a community garden there and stuff. So yeah, that's a cool project that we have in the works right now.
Yeah, it's taken you a while. I've seen you take one other building and what you have done there, and I just thought, wow, you guys are great humanitarians. Ava, your family must be so proud of you. You know, you are a world traveler. And Mama Rosa, I'm sure one day you guys can get her to say something on TV. And it's so funny how I think you guys will trick her with video and also the phones, right? You'll have the phone there and you say like, Mama Rosa, how do you make this? And you know, she's speaking Italian, and then you have the subtitles down below. And I think it's just so adorable. And you know, I think that everybody that will watch your channel will agree with me on that. And is there any dish that you have not done yet that you're looking to try, or you know, do something different?
So many. There's so many. Yeah, people ask us if we're ever worried about like running out of Italian food to share with people. No, I'm worried that we won't live long enough to share it all. There's so many things that we have that we want to do. Yeah.
Italy is made out of 8,000 small communities. Now, let's say that every of these 8,000 community, they have at least 5, 6 traditional dishes. So
that they make in their own way, you know. Yeah.
So try to do the math and imagine how many dishes we can still cook.
No.
So, Ava, you have traveled Italy, and you've picked up different ways from different regions or different cities, however you say it, different communities. But you basically have filed this away in your mind by knowing what part of Italy and how they cook things. And, you know, the cannolis in general, there was a whole video on cannolis that really amazed me. And let me tell you, the next day, my husband, for my birthday every year, makes me a cannoli cake. I don't know if you've ever made that, but yeah, it's so he has made that, and he's German, and everyone, when he first made that, I don't know where he got the recipe from, but everyone couldn't believe how delicious it was. But just cannolis in general, with the cocoa and the sizes of them, I mean, you're just opening our eyes to a whole different perspective than the Americans ever had about Italy. Only because a lot of people can't afford to travel, and you're bringing us with you, and I love that about you guys.
Well, thank you. We're happy to do it.
We are very
Fran?
happy.
Fran,
Great
you got any
duo. I mean, he does the camera work and she does the cooking. It's like a match made in heaven. They just, yeah, you really are. As a great team.
Thank you.
Sometimes we tried to switch, but
No
it
way.
didn't-
No way. No way.
It's fun every now and then for me to do some cooking, but
Yeah.
not
No,
most of the time.
no.
You know what's funny is that I'm not sure how recent it was, but you were talking about cooking some meat. And I'm like, all right, where is she? Where is she? He's the only one in the kitchen. This ain't right.
Now, this maybe I need to say that Harper cooks the best American barbecue that I tried. And I love barbecue. I love barbecue so much. And Harper knows I'm obsessed with barbecue. But he does the best.
Wow.
Thank
It takes how long?
She's just saying that.
24 hours.
Yeah, it depends.
So the day
Very
we cook barbecue doesn't come to bed. So I know that he's outside cooking my barbecue, and I'm so happy.
Have you done one on your barbecue, Harper?
A little bit, yeah. We did one where I tried to cook barbecue in Italy for a bunch of people in Ava's hometown, which ended up being a bit of a disaster.
No, everyone loves it.
Did they run you out of town? Harper, did they run you out of town?
They didn't. No, they didn't run me out of town, but I encountered quite a few hurdles with that one, unexpected twists and turns. But yeah, and I've done I think a few others. We did one where
When we
Ava made porchetta and I made barbecue. Yeah, so there have been a few.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Well,
that was
going back to where we said you basically were raised in a different area, and then you flew out to LA probably to pursue your career, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind of got into the mindset of the LA people and how they ate, and working out and all that. And so when you met her and she's cooking all this really delicious food, I could see why you didn't want to try it, but once you found out that you weren't going to gain all the weight and it was healthy for you, I have to ask this question: do you guys eat Italian all the time, or whenever you are cooking?
No, we don't eat Italian all the time. And definitely, like for instance, if we go out for dinner, other than that Olive Garden video, we've never gone to an Italian restaurant together ever, I don't think. Because that's what we cook and eat. It's like I have the best Italian restaurant in my kitchen. So so if we go out to eat, we love trying food from all over the world, and we go out for sushi or Mexican. We like to travel to other countries to try new food and stuff. So no, it's not just Italian food. No.
Yeah, and that's like when I was growing up, because that's all that my mother cooked. And if we did go to a restaurant and my younger sister would order spaghetti, she'd get slapped for it. You don't order spaghetti.
Yeah.
Or lasagna, two things that we never could order. And I would always try to say, well, I'll see how good this Italian restaurant is by ordering a lasagna. And that's a really bad way, because they can make other meals that are much, much better. I think everybody has their own passion for how they make lasagna at home. So let's see here. Let's see, Fran, any questions?
No, I can't really think. Oh, wait a minute. Where are you going next? You're going to Italy, but are you going to Calabria? You're going back to town next.
Yeah, we'll go to Calabria, and so we'll do it's called the Weekend d'Assa, the tour. It's not really a tour, but the tour in Ava's hometown. And then we also do kind of a more traditional tour through southern Italy. So we'll go from Naples all the way down to Sicily. But then we also might travel around Italy and make some videos, and so we'll see.
So you'll just go with the flow. And when does this start? When are you going?
When does the next tour start? In May?
May 7th.
May 7th. Yeah. So
Okay, we'll look for it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That should be
thank
exciting.
you for both of you for being here, and everybody. If you're really interested in after you watch her videos, you're gonna want to get their cookbook. And I got mine from Amazon, and it is the pictures, illustration, everything is in here. You know, it is done so well. It's one of the biggest cookbooks I've ever seen, to be honest with you. But it is probably one of the best. Are there any recipes that you kept for yourself by saying, "This is my family, I can't share it," or did you put most of your stuff in here?
Nothing that we kept for ourselves. Definitely plenty for a sequel. So probably another one will be in the works at some point.
Wow.
Good. I'll look forward to that one there, but I've got to still go through this one, try some of the recipes. And not only that, they do have people that they'll make their recipes and then send the pictures into them on their channel. So if you're one of them, you know, take a look at doing that for them. But I appreciate both of you being here so much. I was so nervous about this. I was so excited. I was so excited at the same time. Don't ask me why. Probably because I just adore how you guys work together, the videos that you're making, and not only that, you're introducing us to your families, both sides of your families, and you're just allowing us, you know, you're coming into our homes and seeing what you guys are all about, and that's just really a beautiful thing. But other than that, I don't have anything else. If you guys have any parting words, please share it with us.
Gosh, I don't know. Thank you so much for having us. We've really enjoyed talking to you guys, and yeah, really appreciate it.
Yeah. So if you're going to be out and about, like in Vegas or doing something else like that, is there a place that we can find out where you guys are going to be at, or is that just like that contest in Vegas? Was that just something that you knew about and you guys just went there, or do you guys do like go out?
We don't really do many like public events or anything other than our tours, mostly just because making our videos keeps us really busy. But if we do, we'll announce it on probably on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook at Pastagrammer, so you can kind of keep up with us there.
Again, thank you so much. Thank you, Fran, for being here with me also. And
thank you. It was so nice to meet both of you. I can't wait to get your book. I can't wait to try some of the recipes.
Let us know if you do.
Please,
thank you.
Oh, I will.
Okay. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye now. Bye-bye, everybody.